up, peeps? Kristen here. I'm doing my fourth and final video diary for going through major surgery without any narcotics or narcotic-like substances. And I guess I should say on how I did that, because it's been over a month and I'm officially through the battle. So yeah, feels good. Feels good. It feels like a weight off my shoulders. So anyway, in this video, I want to check in, and 2, I want to tell you guys about Aftercare medications, and 3, I want to share a little bit of my burn survivor story with you guys. So, and probably not in that order either, because I think I'm going to start off with number 2. Okay, so I had a conversation with another burn survivor friend of mine in recovery like a week or 2 ago, and he was just like, there's no way I'll ever be able to do that. I don't want to even try. I remember that surgery being very painful. Sorry, I had a call. And there's just no way. And this is like a grown man. I could not do it without medication. And this is what I told him, and this is what I'll tell anybody. I did not do what I did without medication. I was medicated. I just did not have narcotics. I had a creative mix of non-narcotic medication that took the pain away, or at least most of it, and made it bearable. You know, I'm not going to say like there wasn't pain in life. There's going to be pain. And you know, like, no judgment to him or anybody else who gets a surgery and has to take that stuff. And I'm still itchy on my neck. And even for future me, dear future me, if you have to, then you have to. And there's no shame about it. We have a support network, and we have a higher power and grace to get us through anything. But this is just my story for the particular surgery that I got. So I already talked to you guys about the medication I got in the hospital. If you haven't seen my previous video and you need the information, it's the 3rd video where I talk about my hospital experience. So after I got out of the hospital, I'm literally reading a text. That is so rude. Okay, so after I got out of the hospital, I switched from ibuprofen to Tylenol, and then started to alternate because the high dose of ibuprofen I got, especially the IV in the hospital, gave me a kidney infection. So on top of everything else, I had to deal with a UTI. So yeah, that wasn't fun. But I got some AZO, and I switched to Tylenol, and then after it went away, I went back and forth from Tylenol to ibuprofen, and that helped a lot. The other medication that I took that I would recommend to anybody going through pain and needing rest would be melatonin. Now, melatonin is considered an herbal supplement. You can get it in the vitamin aisle of almost any store. What I like about melatonin is, unlike Seroquel and Trazodone, that for me has a mind-altering effect, melatonin doesn't. And the reason it doesn't for me is because, and I keep saying for me because I know some people do take those medications and they don't have a weird effect, but I do. So melatonin, instead of those medications, really helped because it's actually the chemical that's already in your brain. So what you're doing is you're just putting something in your body that's already in your body to help you feel more sleepy. I took 10 milligrams and then I went down to 5. And the reason that was important is because if you can't sleep, then your body can't heal. And when you're in a lot of pain, uncomfortability, going through itchiness, all that stuff, it's hard to sleep. So I did that. And then the other medication I took was Roboxin. Roboxin is a mild muscle relaxer. So it's not like Flexerol. If you're in recovery, you might have gotten Flexerol in detox, and it's like that is a really strong muscle relaxer. I remember taking like one of those and I could sleep for like an entire day. Roboxen's not like that. There's no psychoactive properties to it. Well, I don't think there really is with any muscle relaxers, but for me, because I was in pain, it didn't even make me sleepy. All it did was made like having to stay very, very still for days and days and weeks on end tolerable, especially like when I'm a person who's very active. Like I'm working, going to meetings, like visiting friends all day long. I'm up and down the roads, and so it's really, really hard for me just to stay still. And it also relaxed like all the muscles in the nervous system around the scar too, and that promoted healing. And it does have a little bit of a pain relieving effect. Other than that, it's pretty much all I took. I'm trying to think if I took something else. I really don't think I did. And that was enough for me. Yeah, so second part of the video, I just wanted to check in that I am doing good. I got through, not taking narcotics and the physical pain really well, more well than I expected. But I really didn't expect to be going through like psychological pain. I don't know why. I didn't even consider that would be a thing. And I should have considered it because of how much anxiety I had before. Like the whole like month before the surgery, like I was like obsessing about it, like couldn't stop thinking about it, like panic attacks. You can see it even like my first video, how like freaked out I am, and I'm just like trying to like play it cool. So I should have been prepared for that. I had kind of like a PTSD. I don't want to say like flashbacks, but it was like just the overall feeling of recovering from surgery made me like feel like the same sensations I felt when I first got burned. I don't know how exactly to put it. It really screwed with my self-esteem as well, like having to deal with yet another scar. And for anyone dealing with the introduction of yet another scar, and dealing like with your self-esteem because of it, my one suggestion would be like, don't shame yourself for feeling grief, for feeling sadness, for feeling low self-esteem, because you're already feeling like crap. And then when you shame yourself and say things like, other people have it worse, you shouldn't be feeling this way, suck it up, buttercup, that type of stuff, like, and that's what I was doing. It was making it worse because I wasn't allowing myself just to feel the feelings and let it pass. So, yeah, it was hard. I wasn't even expecting to have a scar. The doctor switched up the surgery last minute, so having now, you can't really see it. It's like, it goes some in the dark, but it's this huge scar, and it took some days to accept, and I'm pretty much in a place of acceptance with it now, and I'm sure I'll get to the place eventually where I feel like it's badass. But, that it really sucks. So that's all I'll say about that. I feel like I'm on the other side of the mountain with that as well. Yeah. And so, lastly, just to kind of sum up, I wanted to share a little bit of my burn survivor story, and then this video diary will be over. Many of you already know my story, but basically, I just celebrated 8 years since my accident. I won't get into like details of how it happened. All I'll say is I was in a drug-induced blackout, and I did it to myself. And to this day, I don't know exactly what happened, and neither did the police or the medical people. Nobody could figure out exactly what happened. I have a pretty good idea how it happened, but they did rule like that it was self-inflicted when I got to the hospital, that it wasn't just an accident. So, after that happened, I really thought oh, this horrible thing, surely I'll get sober now, and I didn't. It took me 2 more years to finally pick up my last white chip. And even like in the hospital, I had done meth for the first time, and I mean, if anything, it just made my addiction worse. And so, the one thing it did do, though, is it showed me, like, how powerless I was to stop the addiction by myself. Because I truly thought, like, if this didn't get me sober, nothing will. And so I began being very hopeless and just gave up all efforts at trying to stop doing heroin, trying to stop doing everything else I was doing. And I just realized, like, I was completely F-U-C-K'd. And that felt very hopeless because I got so suicidal after I hit that bottom and made that realization of I have no defense. But then I finally found my way into recovery and realized that is the exact realization I needed to have in order to let a higher power help me. So looking back, like, I don't think I would have gotten sober without my accident. I'm very grateful to be a burn survivor. I'm very grateful to be still alive. I'm very grateful to be sober. And I just think, not that, God burned me, but I definitely think God knew that for me it was going to take something very extreme to wake me up. Not to save me, but to wake me up. And it did. So I hope none of this has come across like in a way of me feeling like pity for myself. Like, I don't see myself as a burn victim. I see myself as a burn survivor. And, if I could do it all over again, I hope that I wouldn't do anything differently, because everything's just led me to right here and right now. And even the surgery, I just hope that it helps someone else down the road. It's certainly given me faith that the bigger surgeries I have coming up, like, I don't have to put myself in danger to have them and risk losing my sobriety. And just knowing how bad of specifically a heroin addict I was, I really never want to put myself in a position where I have to take opiates. And I hope that day never comes. But I know if that day does come, that I'll be able to get through it with my higher power. So, if nothing else, I hope you guys got that out of all these videos. And it's been really cathartic making these videos. I think I'm going to make one in the near future about mental health. So, stay tuned. This might not be the end of my YouTube channel. Who knows?